welcome to Comfy Cozy Up. So it's another day of this week of putting out videos, and today we're going to be talking about September books. Now, September was an amazing month for me. Amazing month. Have so many good memories. I cannot wait to put out my blog posts and highlight those memories in the blog post. So go ahead and check out comfycozyup.com for those blog posts coming soon. So I read 8 books. I was on a roll to read more, but I was having fun. So I only managed to get through 8 books, and we are talking about 5 physical books and 3 ebooks that are romance that I loved, absolutely loved. Now I am still sucked up in the Booker, so 3 of these are from the Booker shortlist. Yeah. And let's start now with the subscriber pick. And again, you guys are still giving me gems, and this one is a classic, modern day classic. I believe was published, I can't remember the year it was published, I'm so sorry, but it is a classic, and this is Charing Crossroad, and this is Hell and Half. This is a book that's named after the street of where a bookstore was located, and a bookstore that is known for selling rare copies of book or books that are no longer in print, and it is written in letter form. So you have this woman who is sending a letter to the bookstore requesting books, but as the time goes by, she's corresponding with this particular man in this bookstore, and they have a bond, but it's around books. But there are moments in this where the storylines is telling you what's happening during this period of time in the story. It is historical fiction, and what was happening. So there's that matters of the heart, but then there's that love affair for books. And I love this. It is very short, but it's one of those, I think, book lovers kind of book. If you are a big fan of books, you will appreciate this book, so I do recommend it. And thanks for the subscriber who suggested and put this in the jar, and I picked this. I was happy for this book. The next book is got on the Booker list, don't care, don't know why. Orbital. Every year there's always that little short book that you think you're gonna enjoy, and oftentimes I do. This, I'm sorry, I was bored. I was not impressed. I was just not, it was one of those blah. You ask me about this book next year, I won't even know what the hell it was about. That's how much it's just not memorable for me. It's basically 6 people orbiting around the earth in like rapid speed. So there's like how many times in a day, because this story it is actually set in like in a day because of the speed that we're going around Earth. So there's that thought process, that things, there's a mumbo jumbo in their mind, and I did not care. That's all I'm gonna give you for this. I would say if they were going strictly on the writing, the author can write, but we're talking about writing and storyline combined. This wasn't it for me. I'm sorry if you loved it. It's just no. Then we have Anne Michael. This is Held, and this is another one where I was very much intrigued by it. And this is really written in an interesting way. It's like kind of a poetry setup of how it is written, and it's several. There are more than one characters in this, but what happened is the transition for me was a little difficult. Now, I love the idea of memory, of love, of the art and how it is used in this storyline to kind of grip you. But it's also a book that I felt like I had to take my time with, as much as it's not even a big book. This also wasn't a big book because I was getting confused between the transitions in the story. Nevertheless, I do find that the writing was special in this one. and I see why it made the list. I wasn't upset about that, but I wish I loved it more and really appreciate it more than I did. But nevertheless, it's not a bad book. It's just a difficult read for me. It was. All right. Then we have The Safe Keep. I love this. I love this. I love how this book sets you up where you don't really realize what's really going on, and you following a young girl, a woman who is just, she's out there in terms of this house is like her prize, her everything, and living there and having somebody help. There's a help that comes around, and oftentimes you run them away. Her brother, who's just this wanderer, who's just constantly out, and this time he brings another woman that in the house, and this time leave her there. So there's that mystery of how their relationship, because the main character do not care for this woman in the house. There's the idea of she's keeping the safe keep of everything, the utensil, everything in the house. But when you get to the nitty gritty of her issues and the connection she has with this woman, and also the secrets that the house held, and why the storyline is even named The Safe Keep, it makes the story so sweet and special, but then some of it is heartbreaking, because you keep, in my mind, I was thinking about real life situation with those individual, and I'm sure many of them who have lost, and to see what you have lost and seen the possession of what you have lost in the hands of someone else, it made the story very interesting, and I absolutely love the ending. I love how it just wrapped up. This is one of those where even though it had difficult moments, you still got a sweet feel at the end. Love this. It is on the Booker, and it so far I'm almost finished with number 5, and I can tell you it's just 2 books on the list that I am really loving. So I will give you the rundown when I finish all 6, but as of right now, completed 4, and number 5 is more than halfway through. All right, then we're gonna go to Ella. Ella is another book that I knew I was going to enjoy. If we were talking about Ella Fitzgerald's story, yes. This is a book that is considered a novel because the author fill in the blanks. So we know that Ella Fitzgerald's mother passed away at 15. And we know she had a run-in with the law and was at a refinery school and went through hell. And the relationship of how she went from living with her stepfather to her aunt. That is known because Ella Fitzgerald shared those facts. However, why and how certain things happen, she's never disclosed. And there's that idea that she was, that maybe it was traumatic, maybe it was an ugly time that she doesn't want to remember. So in this, the author, which Diane Richards, decided to fill in the blanks and tell a story that felt believable, that's high possibility that happened, especially at the reformatory school, where there are data to support the hell that some people were experiencing there. So I love how this story really focused on those 2 years. We're talking from when she was 15 to 17, when that moment when she did become a hit in terms of her voice, and also learning that music was not her first love, dancing was. And it focused on her ambition to be in these fancy clubs and the possibility of being discovered and making money dancing and getting out of her poverty and the situation she's in. I was very entertained by this. I thought it was a good homage, I guess you would say, or to her story, and how you could see how resilient she was, how strong she was, and how she pushed through all the obstacles and things that she experienced in her life. I just see her in a different light. I love Ella Fitzgerald. I am a huge fan. I do own quite a bit of her music. But I never knew her background story. I think I was so much focused on my other love, which is Billie Holiday, which I know so much about her backstory that I never really researched. And so now I want to know more. That I want to know the aftermath after 17, because there's quite a few things that happened that in the book that you just don't know what was the outcome eventually, especially when she hit it big. So I'm curious and definitely going to dig more into her life. But this was very good. So those are the physical. Let's get into some romance. Romance had me hooked. So we're going to start with the fact that I am still, Gray Huffington still got me in a chokehold. So I read Rather, and I can't really talk much about Rather because Rather is in a series, and it's a second book in the series. And in order to understand the setup of Rather, you would have to read Chemistry, because Chemistry, this was the aftermath of the drama in Chemistry that put Rather, which is Chemistry's sister, in the position she's in. What I could say is, I just love that as this woman, she's a therapist, and she's very dominant, but she's also the mind F person. And in the previous book, she was like portrayed in a scary way where she could get into your mind and dig and get whatever she wants out of you mentally. And in this book, it was like she didn't want that. She wants to be submissive. She wants to just not have to be dominant in any way or shape. But it comes at a price, and it comes with drama. And I really love this. I love Priest in this. And I love how he was just like following his heart and was willing to give up everything that he has for her. And I absolutely was loving this. I cannot wait for the third book, which is Another Sister, Ruckus. And I'm just saying that one looks like it's going to be very action-packed and out there, because that sister is wild. Then I picked up a Alexander Warren. So I haven't read anything from her in a minute. I think I read quite a few of her books last year. And so her story now in this one, Can't Catch Me. Can't Catch Me? Yes. I'll put it here. That book now is, I liked it because this was best friend to lover story, but it's not typical best friend to lover. It's one of those, they were really truly best friend and did everything together, but when time to go to college, he is a football player, she was a track athlete. And when it was time to go to college, they agreed they were going to go together. And then last minute, something happened that made the main female character in this decided that she was not going to go to the same college as him. And it broke his heart. And their friendship was tarnished after that. They did not see each other. Years go by. They're finished with school. He's in the league. She's still out there trying to her path in her career, still struggling with that. And something happened that made her come home. And this is where the story really ignites. There's that hurt feelings that is exposed and had to discuss. There's that moment where they realize they like each other now. They're more than friends, but when they were younger, they'd only seen each other as friends. And now they're grown, they look more attracted to each other, there's that chemistry, and things happen. So this is where it wasn't, oh, I always was love and wanted you so badly as a kid. It was more, we're grown now, I like you, let's see what this can lead to. I really enjoyed this. I thought it was cute, I thought it was sweet, I thought it wasn't over the top, it was just really realistic kind of romance. So I was here for it. Then the last book is Somebody's Wife. And this book is, this author I'm not familiar with. I think it's Robbie, I can't remember the author's name, but I'm not familiar with this author at all. It's the first book I've ever read from this author. And I liked how she handled this situation, because when this book and infidelities in it, sometimes it's a little hard to read it and really enjoy it, because the morality of the whole thing just kind of sometimes don't feel too great. But I liked how it was done in this, where it felt like you wondered how many people have experienced this kind of setup where you got pregnant as a teenager in college. and you did not want to be fed into the statistics. So you guys got married, you finished school, you excel, you even went all the way up to get into your PhD, and you are living this success story. But in closed door, it is a marriage that is completely dishonest and a mess and heartbreaking, and there goes everything that you wanted to do. And also, you got married so young, you didn't even know who you were, and now you have to constantly pretend. So I liked how this person was introduced, and it wasn't this ultimate like sexual relationship. It was more of a mind, which is sometimes can be the worst kind of affair, because you're attaching yourself to somebody, they're getting to know you, you're telling them your likes, your dislikes, your dreams, the things that you hope to accomplish in near future, that kind of deal. There's that bond that you're connected with that person, and this is how this story started. I love it. I love the drama. I love why that relationship was a mess, and why it made sense for a lot of things that was happening. It was happened. It was definitely a page turner, and I was definitely enjoying it for sure. I do recommend it. I think the title is catchy, and it is mentioned quite a few times in the story where the person would say, I am somebody's wife, that kind of deal. But I think for a romance person, you will absolutely enjoy this, and you will be rooting for them, even though, there's a ring on the finger kind of deal. Yeah. But anyway, so that's it. That's all I can think of. Yeah, that's the only 3 books, romance book that I read this. Yeah, I think. All right, guys. So I am going to end this video here. And yeah, thanks for watching. And let me know what some of your favorite books you read this month. The jaw. But my jaw is always ready. Always ready for more books recommendation. And yeah, so I will see you guys in the next one. And yeah. So thanks for watching, and have a good day.